Starting off with the LA Angels, I have a clean bill of health for Mike Trout. Mike Trout hasn't played 140 games since 2018. The best gift for the Angels and all baseball fans out there would be a full season from their star player. Now, with Mike Trout, he is projected to be the center fielder as of right now. I say move him to left field, maybe share some DH time with Jorge Soler. So if you do that, you got to trade Taylor Ward. Trade Ward for some pitching, whether that's for the rotation or the bullpen, improve the pitching staff. But Mike Trout, we got to see a full season from him. For the Houston Astros, I have Anthony Santander. So it looks like Alex Bregman is going to be heading elsewhere. They did add Christian Walker for the lineup to add a little bit of pop. I say keep going and bring in Anthony Santander. Coming off a great season, hit 44 home runs with the Orioles, and the Astros outfield right now is looking a little weak. You got Chas McCormick, Taylor Trammell, Jake Myers. Let's add Anthony Santander to this lineup and give them some more pop. For the Athletics, I have a contract extension for Brent Rooker. This guy's coming off an incredible year, hit 293 with a 365 on base, a 562 on the slugging, a 164 WRC plus, 39 homers, a 5.1 F-WAR. Overall, this guy needs to get paid. I say the A's buy out the remaining arbitration years, get a couple of those free agent years. Let's do a 5-year deal. $75 million is what Baseball Trade Values is projecting based off of the projected numbers and some expected regression moving forward. Brent Rooker, he deserves to get paid. For the Toronto Blue Jays, I have Teoscar Hernandez. Now, Teoscar has been connected with the Dodgers and the Red Sox, but I have them getting other gifts. So here, the Blue Jays get an old friend in Teoscar Hernandez, coming off a great bounce-back year in which he bet on himself with a 1-year deal. Hit 272, a 339 on base, a 501 on the slugging, a 134 WRC plus, 33 homers, won the home run derby, helped win a World Series. A great year for Teoscar, and the Blue Jays really need another bat in this lineup. He would be a great fit with Vlad Jr. in the middle of the order, and hey, maybe Teoscar can convince his good buddy Vlad to stick around in Toronto. For the Atlanta Braves, I have Carlos Correa. You might be thinking here, Robbie Claus, you're crazy. There's no way the Twins are going to trade Carlos Correa, but it's been reported recently that the Twins could be looking to cut payroll, and Carlos Baerga reported a little while ago that the Twins have been listening on trade offers for Correa, and I think the best landing spot would be the Atlanta Braves. They could use an upgrade at shortstop. Orlando Arcia's bat has basically disappeared over the last year and a half. I think they could use an upgrade there. Alex Anthopoulos loves Carlos Correa, and you would only have to take on the last 4 years of his deal. He is making a lot of money, but I think Anthopoulos would rather have a 4-year deal compared to what he got with the Twins when he was a free agent a little bit ago. Carlos Correa, I think, would be a great addition for the Atlanta Braves. For the Milwaukee Brewers, I have Alec Boehm. I'm sorry, everyone. Robbie Claus had to ditch the beard. I don't know how Santa Claus does it. That guy is a pro's pro. My goodness, that beard was absolutely killing me. But for the Milwaukee Brewers, they have a hole at third base right now. Remember, Willy Adames went to the San Francisco Giants. Joey Ortiz is projected to be their shortstop right now, so they could use something at third base. And hey, the Phillies have been calling everyone, trying to get them to take Alec Boehm, and I think he would be a good fit for the Milwaukee Brewers. Put up a good season last year, a 3.5 WAR, hit 280, a 332 on base, a 448 on the slugging, 15 homers. He's not expensive. That's right up the Milwaukee Brewers wheelhouse. I think he would be a great fit here. For the Chicago Cubs, I have Pablo Lopez. Now, I mentioned earlier with the Twins that they could be looking to clear some payroll this offseason, and I could definitely see a guy like Pablo Lopez being on the move because teams are always looking for starting pitching, and he's a lot more affordable compared to someone like Corbin Burns, who's probably going to be getting paid over $30 million, while Pablo Lopez is making around $20 million for each of the next 3 seasons. This guy's been a workhorse over the last 3 years, pitching at least 180 innings per season, had 32 starts this past year, 185 and a third innings pitched, ERA at a 4.08, FIP at a 3.65, good amount of strikeouts. I think he would be a great addition to this rotation. What a 1-2-3 this would be with Imanaga, Steele, and Lopez, and then you got guys like Tyone, Boyd, and Assad behind him. I think this would be an amazing addition. For the Arizona Diamondbacks, I have them getting Kirby Yates. Now, the Diamondbacks bullpen had their issues in the first half last year, but then they traded for AJ Puck. Justin Martinez emerged down the stretch, so it got better, but I feel like they could use a veteran guy back here, and they could use some more strikeouts. They were 25th overall in strikeouts per 9 with the relief pitching last year, so who better than Kirby Yates? He had his best season season last year with the Rangers since 2019, 61 games, ERA at a 1.17, FIP at a 2.50, over 12 strikeouts per nine. I think he would be a great addition to the back end of the bullpen here. For the LA Dodgers, I have Ha-Seong Kim. Now, Kim's season got cut short this year due to a shoulder injury, but I think he's one of the more underrated players in the game. He's not going to give you a whole lot of power, hit 233 this year with a 370 on the slugging, but he's going to get on base. He's going to be a tough at-bat. He doesn't really strike out. He walks a lot, and he's going to give you great defense and speed. And I think he would be a great fit for the Dodgers when he does come back eventually. As of right now, you got Mookie Betts at shortstop. For second base, you got Gavin Lux. So when he comes back, you could have Mookie slide over to the second base, and then Ha-Seong Kim would be a great defender at shortstop for you. And I think we can all agree he's a much better shortstop than Mookie Betts. For the San Francisco Giants, I have Corbin Burnes. Now, I'm surprised that Burnes is still on the market at this point. Max Fried came off the board before him, got an 8-year deal with the Yankees. Corbin Burnes has also been one of the top pitchers in the game. He is looking for a lot of money. It's been reported right around that $250 million range, and I think the Giants would be a great spot. He has been connected with them a lot this offseason. It looked like at one point there was momentum building towards a deal, but I say get that deal done. Him and Logan Webb at the top of the rotation would be an amazing 1-2 punch. They added Willy Adames, a former teammate of Corbin Burnes. I think it makes all the sense in the world. He's a California native. He went to college in the Bay Area. Get this done. Corbin Burnes needs to be a Giant. For the Cleveland Guardians, I have Eric Fedde. I mentioned Fedde earlier with the Cardinals, and I think the Guardians would be a great home. Very underrated season this past year. 31 starts, almost 180 innings pitched, ERA at a 3.30, FIP at a 3.86. Gets a lot of ground balls, and I think that good infield defense in Cleveland would be a good fit. Now, Tristan McKenzie, he has not been able to figure it out at the major league level. I say add a veteran guy like Fedde for the middle of this rotation. I think that would be a good fit. Up next, I'm going to knock out two teams with one stone. For the Mariners, I have Jordan Westburg, and for the Orioles, I have Bryce Miller. Now, I think these two teams are perfect trade partners because each of them has something the other team needs. I think the Orioles need to add a starting pitcher, and I think for the Mariners, they need to add something for second base. Now, for the Orioles, I would love for them to bring back Corbin Burnes, but if he's going to be too expensive for them, I say go after a guy that's under a lot of club control, someone that you can build with as you go through this competitive window with all of the young talent you have. I think Bryce Miller would be absolutely perfect for them, coming off a great season with the Mariners here. 31 stars, 180 innings pitched, ERA at a 2.94, FIP at a 3.58, has good velo, has good stuff. I think he makes a lot of sense for the Orioles, but it's not going to be cheap, and that's why I got Jordan Westburg going back to the Mariners. The Mariners, they really need something for second base here. They need another bat in this lineup, and Jordan Westburg had a very good season this year with Baltimore. 107 games, hit 264, a 312 on base, a 481 on the slugging, a 125 WRC plus, 18 homers as well. Both these guys have 5 years of control. I think it just makes a lot of sense. You know, if not Bryce Miller, maybe you could do Brian Wu. But either way, I think this would be a great trade. For the Miami Marlins, I have Yoan Moncada. Now, Moncada's been ravaged by injuries ever since a very good season in 2019. Had a decent 2021 as well, but he's had a lot of trouble staying on the field. I say go to a low-pressure environment in Miami where they're going through a fire sale right now. Try and get yourself back on track here. And then at the deadline, the Marlins could move him to a team that needs a bat and get back some more prospects. For the New York Mets, I have Pete Alonso. And what better gift after Juan Soto than to bring back a fan favorite in Pete Alonso? He's one of the best power hitters in the game for a while now, and I think they need to bring him back so he can give Juan Soto the protection that he needs. They need to make Pete Alonso a Met for life. For the Nationals, I have Jeff Hoffman. Hoffman's one of the best relievers in baseball for a couple of years now, coming off another great season with the Phillies. 66 and a third innings, 2.17 on the ERA, a 2.52 on the FIP, gets plenty of strikeouts, 12 strikeouts per 9 this past year, only 2 walks per 9, under a home run per 9, and with the Nationals about to go into a competitive window, along with non-tendering Kyle Finnegan, they need someone at the back end of this bullpen. I think Jeff Hoffman would be a great option. He could also start. There have been some rumors about teams looking at him as a starter, so maybe you could sign him for either role. Either way, I think Hoffman would be a great addition for the Nationals. For the San Diego Padres, I have them getting Roki Sasaki. Now, the Dodgers are the favorites to land him for obvious reasons. They have Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. They just won a World Series. They're in contention every single year. They have great player development. Of course, the Dodgers are going to be a favorite favorite here. But I think the Padres will also have a great shot at landing him. AJ Preller has been very high on him for a while now, and the Padres just came off a very good year. They were this close to knocking off the Dodgers in the postseason, and they have a need in the rotation. Joe Musgrove's going to be out for all of 2025. Also has a friend and a mentor in Yu Darvish here. I think the Padres make a lot of sense. And another reason why I think the Padres could be a good landing spot is he may be open to going to a smaller market so he could focus more on his development. The Dodgers have a huge market, and hey, with Shohei and Yamamoto there, there's going to be a lot of media, looking for any opportunity they can, to take pictures, commercials, whatever it may be. So maybe he would like to go to a bit of a quieter environment in San Diego, or even just any other small market team. So I think the Padres have a lot going for them. Again, the Dodgers are the favorites, but I think it would be amazing for Roki to go to San Diego. For the Phillies, I have Ryan Helsley. Now, I mentioned earlier with the Cardinals, they could be looking to clear some payroll this offseason. Ryan Helsley, coming off a great season, is expected to make around $7 million in arbitration, and with the Cardinals looking to go through a bit of a reset as well, I could see them looking to take advantage of his value while it's still high and get back some young pieces in return. Helsley was amazing this past year. He led the major leagues in saves with 49, ERA at a 2.04, FIP at a 2.41. I think he'd be a great addition for the Phillies bullpen. You got Jeff Hoffman, who I mentioned earlier, hitting free agency. Carlos Estevez is also a free agent. I think he would be a great shutdown guy at the back end of the bullpen. You can't trust Jordan Romano as of right now. He's had a lot of injuries as of late. So Ryan Helsley, I think, would be an amazing addition for the Phillies. For the Pirates, I have Taylor Ward. Now, in the beginning of the video, I mentioned that the Angels should trade Taylor Ward so they can move Mike Trout out to left field, and I think the Pirates would be a great home for him. They could use another bat out there. This past year did pretty solid, had 25 home runs, had a slugging at 426, a 111 WRC+. He mashes lefties. I think he would be a good addition for this lineup here. Now, he has been playing mostly left field in the last couple of years, but he has experience playing out in right. You got Palacios projected for right field as of right now, but I think Ward, who has a couple more years of control, would be a nice addition for the Pirates lineup. For the Texas Rangers, I have Tanner Scott. Now, an issue the Rangers have been having going back to last offseason was their TV revenue, but now that their contract is over with the Diamond Sports Network, it looks like they're going to be creating their own TV network, so that should help address the issue when it comes to the TV revenue, and since they have a little bit more money to play with, why not throw it at Tanner Scott? This guy has been absolutely disgusting over the last couple of years. 72 games this year between the Padres and the Marlins. ERA at a 1.75, FIP at a 2.92. Gets a lot of swing and miss. He has nasty stuff. And the Rangers, they just lost a lot of relievers. They did bring in Robert Garcia in the Nate Lowe trade, but, Jose Leclerc, Kirby Yates, they're free agents. I say use the money to invest in a very good reliever that'll be your closer for the next few years. For the Rays, I have AJ Minter. Now, Minter has been one of the more solid relievers in the game for a while now, but this past year, he dealt with a lot of injuries, only around 34 innings pitched. ERA was pretty good at a 2.62, but the FIP was almost 2 runs higher at a 4.45. I say go to Tampa, where they're very good with the analytics over there. They've shown in the past they can get some of these guys back on track. I think he would be a nice addition for the back end of the bullpen. For the Boston Red Sox, I have Alex Bregman. Now, the Red Sox have been active this offseason. They went after Juan Soto. They made a trade for Garrett Crochet. They brought in Walker Buehler this past week, but they still need a right-handed hitter in the lineup, and I think Alex Bregman would be a great fit. Now, I can see the argument for Teoscar Hernandez, but I like the idea of Bregman a bit more. Now, when it comes to Bregman, he's been one of the more consistent players in the game for a while now. He's averaged right around a 4 to a 4.5 wins above replacement over the last few years. Another solid season with the Astros, had a 118 WRC+, a 453 on the slugging, 26 homers, plays great defense at third base, won a Gold Glove, but he also has versatility, and he is open to playing second base. He can play shortstop in a pinch if needed to, and that's where I think he brings a lot of value to the Red Sox. Now, you got Rafi Devers at third base. Now, he does want to stay there, so you could just put Bregman at second base, which has been a black hole for the Red Sox over the last couple of years. He would definitely improve that position, or if Rafi would be willing to maybe move to DH, if they could move Yoshida, then you would definitely have better defense at third base. But Bregman, because of his versatility, I think fits the Red Sox very well. He's also hit great at Fenway Park in his career, has great numbers there, has the monster. I think he would be a doubles machine with some pop, anywhere from 20 to 25 homers. I think that would make a lot of sense. Now, also another thing to think about the Red Sox got some very good infielders coming up from their farm system. You got Marcelo Meyer, Christian Campbell, two of the top prospects in the game. Both of them can play in the infield, but I think because of Bregman's versatility, he can move around. That could help, not block these guys. Someone like Christian Campbell also has versatility. He can move maybe to a corner outfield spot, whatever it may be. But I think Bregman would be a great addition. The Red Sox really need a veteran guy, a guy with winning experience, has 2 World Series rings. Say what you will about the trash cans, but Bregman, I think, would be an awesome veteran addition for this clubhouse. I think the Red Sox need to get this done. For the Reds, I have Luis Robert. Now, we all know the deal with Luis Robert. When he's healthy, this guy is an absolute madman. Back in 2023, he had a great season, hit 264, a 315 on base, a 542 on the slugging, a 128 WRC plus, 38 homers, 20 stolen bases, plays great defense out in center field. The problem is he has trouble staying on the field. He has a lot of injuries. This past year, had a hip flexor injury through his season, all out of whack, only had an 84 WRC plus this year. But when healthy, I think he would be a great addition for the Reds. They need a bopper in this lineup. And, again, he needs to stay healthy. But I think he's the bat that they need. And he's not very expensive. He's on a pretty team-friendly deal. And I think the Reds, they got some young position players that they can send back to the White Sox, which is what they're looking for. So I think in the end, they're good trade partners. And I think Robert would be a very nice addition for this lineup. For the Colorado Rockies, I have a clean bill of health for Chris Bryant. Now, this contract is turning into one of the worst in baseball history, if it's not already one of the worst in history. He has a negative Fangraph wins above replacement over the last 3 years while getting paid a ton of money. I say instead of giving the Rockies any players in free agency or through trades, I say let's just keep Chris Bryant on the field for a full year. Get back to what you were doing a few years ago. For the Royals, I have Jerickson Profar. Now, Profar is coming off a career year, had 24 homers, hit 280 with a 380 on base, a 459 on the slugging, a 139 WRC plus, but he's just about to turn 32 years old. Not very often you see a guy have a career year at this point, and because he lacks the track record, I don't think he's going to be getting a big contract, especially at 32 years old. So I could see Profar getting something in the 3 to 4 year range, maybe something around $17 to $20 million per year, and I think that fits right in the ballpark of what the Royals have been giving out over the last couple of years here, and they really need an improvement in the outfield. You got Hunter Renfroe, MJ Melendez, Kyle Isbell, but their offensive production last year was not very good. I think Profar would be a nice boost here. For the Tigers, I have Jack Flaherty. Now, we just saw Flaherty win a World Series with the Dodgers, but remember, he was with the Tigers before that. The Tigers were sellers at the deadline, but then they got themselves back together down the stretch and ended up making the postseason. If they had Jack Flaherty in the postseason, I think there's a good chance they would have ended up getting to the American League Championship Series against the Yankees. Flaherty had himself a great year this year. He took very well to what Detroit was doing this year with the pitching. They've been very good in the pitching department over the last couple of years. Chris Fetter, one of the more highly regarded pitching coaches in the game, had a good season. ERA at a 3.17, FIP at a 3.48, got a good amount of strikeouts. The walks were pretty low for the most part. Did give up a few long balls this year, but in the end, Flaherty, a great season. I say get that 1-2 punch back together with Tarek Skubal and Jack Flaherty. For the Twins, I have Randall Grichuk. Now, I've mentioned in this video the Twins could be looking to cut some payroll this offseason, but Randall Grichuk shouldn't cost all that much, but he had himself a really solid season. Hit 291, a 348 on base, a 528 on the slugging, a 139 WRC plus, 12 homers, but most of his damage came against left-handed pitching. This guy had a 151 WRC plus against lefties this year, and the Twins could use another righty bat here. You got a couple of lefties in Trevor Larnach and Matt Wallner. I think Grichuk would be a good platoon bat here in Minnesota. For the White Sox, I have Trevor Williams. Now, the White Sox fire sale is almost complete. They traded away Garrett Crochet to the Red Sox, and because of that, they're going to need some more pitching, and Trevor Williams, I think, would be a good buy low candidate, similar to what they did last year with Eric Fetty when they brought him in on a 2-year deal. They ended up moving him at the deadline. I say do the same thing with Trevor Williams. He was having a good season this year before running into some arm issues, but he came back late in the year and he still looked pretty solid. had 13 starts, 66 and 2/3 innings pitched, ERA at a 2.03, FIP at a 2.79. I say bring him in, get back to what you were doing this past year, move him at the deadline, and get back some prospects in return. And last but not least, for the Yankees, I have Nolan Arenado. Now, supposedly at one point this offseason, the Yankees made a phone call to the Cardinals about Arenado, but they got turned down. I say try again and try to bring Arenado on board to fill in your hole at third base. Now, you got a couple of options here for third, like Oswaldo Cabrera or Oswald Peraza, a couple of younger options. But if you want something steady, a veteran guy that you know is going to give you some great defense there, why not bring in Arenado? Now, the bat has regressed a bit over the last couple of years. The power is way down, a 394 slugging this past year with 16 homers, but maybe the Yankees can figure something out with him. They have done that in the past. Maybe they could do the same thing with Arenado. They also just signed Paul Goldschmidt, a good friend of Nolan Arenado, who's played with him on the Cardinals for the last few years here. For the Yankees, I think it would be another great veteran addition for this team. But everyone, those are my thoughts. Tell me your thoughts down below. Which gift do you want your team to get this offseason? Let me know. But everyone, I just want to say Merry Christmas to everyone out there. Happy holidays to everyone out there. Please spend some time with your family, some friends. Enjoy your holiday season. And I just want to thank you for all the support this past year. It's been an amazing year for this channel. I can't thank you enough. I'm extremely grateful for all of you out there that have continued to support what we do here. But everyone, again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all of you and your families. But everyone, that's all I got for right now. If you can on the way out, hit that like button for me, subscribe if you're new, and I'll talk to you next time.